So today I'm going to record a very quick video actually while being out here in Miami with my very good friend Michael. Actually, this video, I just wanted to record this very short intro as a preface to this video because it's going to be a very different style than what you would usually be seeing on this channel. But as you know, an online business owner, e-commerce business owner, agency owner, whoever you may be, essentially, I think you may get something out of this video. This is a very important life lesson that I've started to understand after about a year and a half, 2 years of being in this game as, again, a business owner. I was a freelancer before, transitioned to being a business owner, which is a very different game, but I still think that as a freelancer, you would be able to get something out of that. Today we're going to talk about the time management and mainly about the not balance but harmony between life and work, and how can you make sure that you mesh both together instead of spending time trying to control your life and making sure that you're only on one side of the coin, right? That you're only doing personal stuff or only working and not being able to mesh the two together, because I think it will become very important for you to mesh the two at some point, especially with scale. As your business picks up in size, it's very important that you've already mastered this concept to make sure that you can mesh the two together as efficiently as possible and to live a life that you would have wanted to live when first getting into this game. So, see you guys soon. All right, so we're in Miami right now with my good friend Michael behind the camera. So we're out here for about 5 days. I think it's day 3 right now of the trip. And we've had many discussions so far about more of the macro perspective of running a business, especially in a young age. I think we did a big mistake that I want to share with you today that I'm working towards correcting throughout the rest of 2022 and really making sure that I'm building more a life that I'm happy about, and especially that I can sustain. Because what ends up happening in my personal case is that usually after a span of about 2 to 3 months of working pretty much 7 days a week, I get very tired, I pretty much get burnt out, and then it's very hard to get back into things. So in this video, I just want to share with you this one mistake that I've made that I don't want you to make as an online business. If you're new to the channel, my name is Justin and I'm the founder of Wizo Media, an e-commerce marketing agency specializing in elevating thriving brands by simplifying e-commerce growth. Alright, so I think the main mistakes that I've made in this, a year and a half, almost 2 years journey so far is that I've built a life around my business and not a business around my life. And what ends up happening is exactly what I just said right here, is I'll end up working my ass off, not taking any breaks and not really taking care of my personal health and time. And we realize this as, it's pretty much the first real break I'm taking since starting the business. And it's just 5 days, right? It's just 5 days of being completely away, completely removed from the business. Obviously, also when you first get into things, it's very hard to remove yourself because there's basically nobody else than you that is being kept accountable for the work being produced. Whereas right now, when I've built a team, we have a pretty solid team going on, so they can handle most of the day-to-day with me being removed, at least for a couple of days. So that said, I think what we've come to realize is that things such as going to the gym, just visiting places like these, spending time with friends, family, girlfriend, whatever that is, should be constructed first. Obviously, with always keeping in mind that you want to work a little bit at least every single day. But I think we come to forget why we've started this so far, right? Why not go with the traditional route, which is more of a fixed schedule, fixed salary, you know when you're clocking in, clocking out. Whereas right now, there's a lot of gray zone, I think, in our field. It's all up to you to decide self-manage when you're going to work, when you're going to take some time off. And it becomes very important to create these sort of guidelines and frameworks for your personal life. So personally, what I'm going to do with this is, I've talked to actually Michael behind the camera about, wanting to get back into playing hockey, which I used to do a lot. So that could be a great thing for me to structure in my routine. So that way, I know this is there, this is set, and then I need to work around that and not the opposite, right? And not fit the hockey around, let's say, my day-to-day life. And that's just an example. It would be the same thing with gym, with just going out. And I think in this culture of hustle and you gotta grind, you gotta work, it's, for me personally, what's this created for me is that even though I'm not productive, I'd rather spend time in front of my screen, in front of my computer screen, and I guess fake to work, right? Just pretty much browse the internet and not do pretty much any productive work, then take the conscious decision of taking time off and spending the time to rest and get back into the groove. So that way, right then and there, it's already been about 3 days since we're here, and I already feel excited to get back into things because I know what life is about to some extent, right? Is I know I know that no matter how hard I work, things like these will always be there. So that is also a good reminder that I can have fun. And it's just that the fact that I'm removing myself from work, it removes me from this tedious process of, okay, I'm opening my screen every single morning and I'm there for like 9-10 hours a day, and then afterwards, I pretty much go to bed right after. Like that's my life basically, right? Whereas with going to places like this here, makes me see this other facet of life, which but it basically tells me that I can do other things also in my daily life. And right then, like today's is this trip is a lot more of a completely removed from business type of trip. Like we do still speak about business together, me and Michael, and we do still film videos like these, sometimes check emails and stuff. But I think we could also do these types of trips while still working, being a bit of a hybrid, right? Keeping the same routine as I would at home, but being away could also be a good mix. And those are all sort of thoughts that I've been having since coming up here. And I think really the goal by the end of the year is to really live more, not less of a balanced life, but more in harmony, which I've been hearing a lot recently about, a couple key people online. They talk about harmony rather than balance, which I like a lot. I resonate a lot more with that, because I think the balance part of things makes it look like you're either doing one or the other. You can't really mix and match both of them together. It's either you're out of work or you're inside of work, which I think still ties back to the traditional way of working. Whereas with us, I think harmony would be great, which is exactly what I've just talked about. You still are away from home, still on vacation, but you can still get into your routine, still do a little bit of work, and that is more of a harmony. You shouldn't be afraid to work, basically, which I think this is something I've developed. Is I've been essentially working so hard that whenever I have just a slightly tiny bit of time off, I want to hold on to it so hard that I don't even want to think and reflect back on work. So that's where harmony ties back in, whereas that you can live this, again, it's not balance, it's the only way to have to describe that is harmony, is that you can still be away from home, still be in somewhat of a vacation mode, but still do some minimal amount of work and mix and match both parts of my life, I guess. And that became very important for me to start getting into, especially now that I'm in a 5-year-long relationship. I want to make sure that I can spend time with my girlfriend, but also can work at the same time. Because right now I feel as though when I want to spend time with her, I don't want to think about work at all, which I think it would be healthier to be able to, again, do a little bit of both without having to sacrificing one or the other. That was pretty much the lesson that I wanted to share today in this very quick video. So that said, I'm going to wish you beautiful people a great day, and see you next video. Peace.